We're back.
And we're live.
Oh, now we're back.
No, anyway, we are up to episode 22.
22.
It's big 2-2.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Drink.
Drink.
22.
Yeah.
2, 4, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah. So,
Only true cricket fans will get that one.
oh, is that, what was it?
Richie Benno.
Yeah.
Well, it was also the third man.
Third man.
No, 12th man.
12. Oh, yeah, that was his name, yeah. Yeah, the comedian guy.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks because I'm busy with stuff.
Yep. Exciting stuff.
It's official now. It is official now.
Ooh.
Moving back to Australia.
Yes.
So
It's awesome.
tickets are booked. Although it is impossible to actually get into Australia right now, so it's not going to be for many months.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, we don't like people.
I mean, come on, Simon. That's
We
been
don't like-
how it's always been for Australians.
That's true. We don't like diseases.
Yeah, which people are.
Yeah. Did you hear the England or the UK is banning people from leaving the country? And
Finally,
you get
they should have done that about 500 years ago.
you get £5,000 fine for attempting to leave.
Jesus.
I know. I was like, what?
Why don't they just stop the flights? I mean,
Well, but the weird thing is why don't you just not let them back in? Like, why are they like Australia's doing? It's like, yeah, you can come in because you're a citizen, but it'll take 6 months. So
yeah.
just wait. You know, it's like it's a weird thing not to let people go anywhere.
Yeah, but Malaysia's doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been like that for I don't know, 6 months, 8 months or something, maybe longer. And you have to apply through the government with a legitimate reason
Okay.
as to why you can travel away from Malaysia, because Malaysians basically aren't allowed out. I
That
don't.
sucks.
Yeah, I don't know why that is exactly, but I guess it's probably just to stop them wanting to come back in afterwards.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I just find it really weird. It's like if someone's going to accept you somewhere, and you want to go there, you should be allowed to go.
Yeah.
But then you should also be told it may take half a year to get back in, so you better know why you're leaving.
Yeah, but
It's
that's the
like-
thing. People will whinge. So
Yeah, I guess so.
you're effectively halving the amount of whinging you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the whinge on this end, but you don't get the desperate whinge, I guess, from people desperate to get back in with no money.
Yeah, but it'll also be
Yeah.
like the people at home going, "You're not letting my sister, brother, cousin, whatever, back into their own country. It's a crime against blood."
Yeah.
It's just like, no.
Yeah,
Just
I
you're
pay
not
my
allowed out.
taxes.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, more than you politicians do.
Cupcake?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I saw you.
Is this your dog?
Yes.
What's Cupcake doing? Is that her proper name?
Yeah.
Have we...
She's
Is it because she's delicious?
yeah. Well, she's attempting to eat the cat's poop, so
Oh, jeez. Save some for me, Cupcake.
she like I just saw out of the corner of my eye her going into the room with the cat tray.
Yep.
And many a night we've gone to bed to wake up to just like cat litter and
Oh, Jesus.
debris everywhere.
Oh,
And her going, oh no, I'm
Bit
sorry.
of cat turd around her face. Wasn't me. Another dog broke in.
It was just so delicious. So yeah, I just busted her, and then she came out with her tail between her legs.
Yeah. Oh, well, got a well-trained
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited
Not
actually
really,
about
because
the.
she's still attempting it.
Oh. No, we're pretty excited about the move back to Australia. It's been like 4.5 years since we've been back.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, dude.
Um, yeah, it's gonna be, but it's right in the middle of winter when we're going back.
Yeah, but I guess seeing as you've been in Malaysia,
Yeah,
yeah, it'll
yeah,
be it'll
yeah.
be pretty unpleasant.
We've been sweating it out in here for
Yeah,
all that time, and like probably started adjusting to it a bit, but honestly, like trying to go outdoors during the day still here, it's terrible. It's like Darwin
yeah.
still. Like,
Oh, last couple of days have been just terrible.
oh god.
There's like these massive floods in the East Coast,
Oh yeah.
like New South Wales, Victoria,
Yeah.
and it's like brought all this humidity up. I mean, there's always humidity, but it's like really hot and concentrated.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, you get like an occasional shower from it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like all the rains down there, and we're just getting like the humid, disgusting heat. It's just
Um,
been
that's a nightmare.
unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, did you see, speaking of the floods,
Oh.
did you see the spider plague?
No, no. Where's that?
Oh, dude, look up New South Wales spider plague.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I've actually just cancelled my tickets to Australia.
And if you can share the screen on some of the pictures,
All right. Let's see what we
yeah,
can
it'll
find.
be worth it.
Um. Oh, dear God, no. Why?
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
A plague of funnel web spiders? Are you
Not just
crazy?
not, not just funnel webs. Like
All right. Let's see if I can bring that image up.
there was a whole field of huntsmen.
Oh,
Like there must have been 100,000 huntsmen.
let's see if I can find a good shot of it. Yeah. Oh, this is like this happy family sitting there with just this
Yeah,
fence covered in them.
yeah.
Thousands of spiders trying to escape
And
the
there's
flood.
there's like they're all climbing up the apartment blocks to get out of the flood water.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Serious?
yeah. All and it's not just any, it's all types of spiders, just like trying to get out of the water.
Oh dear
And
God.
and weirdly, they're not trying to eat each other. They're all just like hanging out, like waiting for the flood water to go, and then they're gonna go back down.
Okay, it's not a clear image of it because it's expanded a
Yeah,
bit, but yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, all it looks like at that resolution is a bit of a corrugated fence full of black dots,
yeah. But
but
yeah, seriously,
that's
just
disgusting.
just Google spider plague, New South Wales spider plague, and you will, yeah, you won't sleep.
Oh,
There's been some,
jeez.
there's been some great videos of it. Just people posting like their balcony fence,
Oh,
and like every single pole is just like covered in spiders.
how is there so many spiders around? Like,
Well, you just don't realize that they're everywhere. Yeah,
oh, jeez, that's terrifying. That is
yeah.
just terrifying.
So you picked the right place.
Yeah. Yeah, New South Wales floods caused thousands of spiders to move from ground floor to penthouse. Who was keeping all those spiders in their in their
Ground
ground
floor.
floor? Yeah, no, I just had 1,000 of them on my roof. Just keeping the flies down.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I throw a handful at a fly, and one of them catches it.
That's right. Oh dear God. Oh yeah. It's just like covering this person's mailbox. I can't really see it
Yeah,
very well.
anything. Like they're literally like even just an oval that's slightly raised. You just see the grass is just moving with spiders.
Oh,
Like
that is
it's
just disgusting.
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, there's one of a set of fields.
yeah.
Resolution's terrible on it. Can't tell anything. It's all probably from
Anyway,
the news reports.
it's all right.
That's
I just yeah.
Yeah, well, no, screw that. Um,
Thought I'd give you some nightmares.
yeah, no, I have that. I do have the phobia of the huntsmans.
Well,
Um,
I understand why.
no, it's because those two fell on me when I was in the
Yeah,
monastery. I was like, you're just
I
trying
had
to.
one fall on me.
Oh, serious?
It was in my beanie,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, I'm sure I told you, I was like meditating, and I could feel the beanie moving, and I'm like, am I just imagining it, or is it something in my head? Because I don't want to break my meditation just to like. And it was middle of the
Just to
night,
get rid
like
of the spider.
yeah,
Yeah.
pitch black. So I'm meditating. And I don't know how much time goes by, but eventually I'm like, no, there's definitely something on my head.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So then I just went and like threw it across the room, like the beanie,
Yeah.
and then turned my torch on. And then there's just like all those little eyes, like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, all lighting up. And I'm like,
Oh dear. Oh god.
uh,
Massive and mean. Yeah, they are massive and mean. Oh Jesus Christ, that thing is
yeah.
huge. That is huge.
And the other problem is there's just like so many poison, like you said, so many poisonous spiders doing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You don't want to mess with it. Oh dear God, I can't look at huntsman spiders. That's
You know what's even funny? Like so many of them are carrying eggs because they're trying to keep their eggs off the off the water. That's what this like video of just like a fence and like everywhere there's like little tiny like they look like styrofoam balls, you know, just
oh
like
Jesus.
just distributed out around everything.
Oh Jesus Christ. Can you imagine? You don't know what it is. You go up, you sort of chat, and you lean against the fence. You hear this. You
Yeah,
look around. There's
yeah.
just swarms of little. Oh God. Oh, that is just disgusting. Yeah.
I know what Chris is going to be dreaming about tonight.
No, it's because that one, like, I was trying to sleep and it, like, landed on my shoulder. And I'm like, I know what that is because I saw you on the window
Yeah,
earlier. And I jump out of bed. I look around on the bed for it because I thought it'd come off. And it's sitting there. And it's
yeah,
and so I, like, have to. This is a monastery, so I can't kill it. So I'm, like,
yeah,
shaking
yeah,
it off onto the bench
yeah,
top. And then I see its partner. Like, there must have been the male one or something up on the wall on the other side of the room. And I thought, all right, I better get rid of that one too. I get one of those clear buckets. And I go to put the clear bucket and it just jumps there and it's just like, like that. Oh, God. And so,
they're
yeah.
so incredibly tough at jumping. Like
Yeah. And
we get them here all the time, and they're so good at jumping.
yeah.
It's disturbing how good they're
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah. Oh, God. I just couldn't
Yeah,
imagine them swarming over your house. Is
yeah.
that,
It's so hard not to flinch as well when they
oh,
jump at you.
yeah. Because they don't do much. They can't bite that
Yeah,
much or anything. I don't
no,
think
they're
they're
not
trying to attack
poisonous.
you. But,
I think it's one of those like just evolutionary reflexes.
yeah.
If I jump, like things that are trying to eat me pull back. So, but yeah, pretty funny.
Oh, no, I can't look at that anymore. I can't look at that anymore. Oh, some of the pictures are just, it's just like all these,
Yeah,
every little nook and cranny is just filled with these things and they're all on top of each other. And
yeah,
oh God, that
yeah.
is wrong. Oh, that is so
They're going to
wrong.
be using those pictures to cure people of arachnophobia for hundreds of years.
I've been trying to do a little bit of phobia work with the students at school, and so we like talk about the idea of exposure sort of thing. It's like, so
Yeah, yeah.
my one's spiders. So here's some pictures of some spiders, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Because yeah, like exposure therapy is one of the best ways to do it. You like
Yeah,
slowly let
yeah.
yourself be around, but Jesus Christ. Like, I don't think I've seen any here in Malaysia for 4.5 years. So,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
I mean, they have spiders, but they don't have those
Yeah.
things that are like
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that big waiting to
Yeah,
jump on
they'll
you.
probably be in the jungle somewhere.
Yeah, Yeah, probably. But I
Yeah,
mean,
imagine like, 'cause I know they were in Thailand when I went to Thailand.
yeah,
They were like,
yeah, they were big there as
so
well. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh God, that's just
Okay, let's change topic.
yeah.
Let's change
Thank you.
to skin cell growth grows in grown into an embryo
Yeah,
was the headline.
yeah.
Now they claim that the type of embryo they're creating can't be fertilized.
Okay.
That's what they're claiming.
Yeah. So it's not a genuine, not a like
Well,
a,
it's just an it's an
it's not a
it's
human.
well that's what they're saying. But it does grow a bit.
Okay. Does grow a bit.
So it's more like they haven't worked out how to fully get it to grow. They're basically skirting around laws, is what they're doing. So they're like, we have to destroy them after 2 weeks. We have to
Yeah.
like, there's like specific laws where it becomes like a human and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and there's all these cloning laws as well,
Yeah.
because essentially you're just cloning a human out of skin cells.
Yeah.
Um, but it is insane that this is what is happening,
Um.
if you ask me. That
Yeah.
is
No, it's.
incredible.
I think like the point you made about it before was the fact that they can reverse engineer a skin cell to becoming one of those. What is it? Poly something or other. Um.
Yes, yeah, what are they called?
That word that means that they can basically grow into any cell.
Yeah, whatever. Some
Um.
sort of cell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
stem cell.
yeah. And
So you have like normal embryonic stem cells, and
yeah.
then you have
Yeah.
these ones.
But I sent you that one about I sent you that one about the CRISPR.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's really interesting as well.
Yeah, so I mean that is gene manipulation on like unborn thingies. That's what the guy in China got famous for.
Yeah, they took out his ability to get AIDS, I believe.
Yeah, like they made it highly resistant to it because the father had
Yeah,
HIV or something.
yeah, yeah,
But I don't think they were. I don't think he told the parents exactly what he was doing, and he didn't make the
yeah,
scientific community aware of what he was doing until after the babies were
yeah,
born. And then he's like, "Look at me!" And the government went.
yeah,
Well, at first they went, "Hooray!" And then everyone else went, "No, bad." And then they went,
yeah,
"Oh yeah,
yeah,
boo!" And now you're in jail.
yeah.
But the fact is that that sort of research was taking place.
And it probably is taking place everywhere.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm a guy in charge, right? Like the stuff that you're sending me is a show of like how advanced they are
Yeah,
at gene manipulation or cellular cell manipulation
yeah,
that
exactly.
they can form skin cells to grow into embryos that they're saying they're not real people, it's fine.
Yeah. And the other one I was sending you, they're growing tear ducts in the lab
Yeah. So
and making them cry.
that's the one. That's the part that cracked me up. What are they saying to these tear ducts? Your mama's a dish. Your mama's a petri dish. Stop it. Oh dear.
But how weird is that?
Yeah.
And they're actually implanting them into mice. So it's like they're they're growing tear ducts and implanting them into mice
Finally,
and grafting them on.
they can make those little mice bastards cry.
As they get hit with the trap, you can see the tears like,
You want some cheese? You want some? Ah!
but like for real, this is crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, it's some serious level technology that they can get a stem cell to grow into a specific organ that can then replicate the outcome that you're trying to produce, i.e. the tear duct making it cry.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, it'll be good for people that have the dry eye problem.
Yeah.
Because it's like a small percentage of people are affected by it, and a small percentage of those actually.
5%, not even a small percent.
Oh
5% of
God.
people have some form of dry eye.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah, now
actually a
of
hell of a
those,
lot. Yeah.
yeah, and of those, some of them become blind because they can't, they're basically just scraping their dry eyelid across their eye
Yeah.
and they can't get rid of debris.
Yeah, but I mean, so what they're saying is we can take some of your skin, we can then grow it into a tear duct, and we can then insert it into you
Yeah, pretty soon.
pretty soon.
That's what'll be
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like that level of technological advancement, they're saying it's coming from, you know, destroying anything that's roughly human embryonic after two
Two
weeks
weeks.
of
Yeah.
development and so on. But you know that there's going to be plenty of countries around the world where that's not an issue, where that's definitely taking place. And if you're a world power leader, you don't want to fall behind on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Holocaust scientific stuff.
What were
Like,
they? The
well, the Germans,
Nuremberg. Who were they? But yeah, yeah,
I don't, yeah, like the Germans basically did all these like disgusting scientific trials on Jews,
yeah,
um, and basically, just crazy Dr. Frankenstein stuff.
yeah,
And everyone was like, no, 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 we're not going to use it. But, eventually they were just like, I'm sure eventually somewhere they were just like, let's just use it. Like, might as well
uh,
make it some good out of it.
yeah. What did I read? Because I went to Auschwitz in Germany where they were conducting this. Oh, I've still got the spider one up. Oh, Jesus Christ, Simon! Why'd you make me look at that? That's just.
I should have talked about that right at the end.
Yeah, just can't even look at that. Nazi doctor medicine advancement. Because from what I understood, like they actually made some pretty good advancements in their research.
Well, it's because they could do actual tests on live humans,
Yeah.
and they were mostly doing it without anesthetic. So it's like,
Jesus. Yeah, so your
you know,
feedback was immediate.
yeah, it's just all nuts. Like it's nuts stuff. But like data doesn't care where it comes from.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
amoral, if you get it amorally, it tends to be easier to collect if you don't have any morals.
Yeah, and you you can almost be certain that that's is taking place, and that there is a high level of genetic scientific understanding that's already like there. It's just that they
Yeah,
can't release
yeah,
it because it's like, oh wow, how did you come across that discovery? And like,
yeah.
well, funny story. um,
All those Uyghurs.
yeah, don't check my bin right now.
Yeah,
It's not bin day yet. You're not gonna like what you see in there.
wait for a week. Wait for a week.
Dear.
Yeah, but that's exactly like, I mean, once they start creating, like, I mean, once they're able to clone a human without a brain, um, and just like use it as a testing subject,
Yeah.
um, I think that's when they're really gonna start going to town. Or like have a brain but no consciousness in it, or some weird thing. They're gonna
Well,
get around it.
look, my guess will be that because you've got that like 9 months to start with point while a
Yeah,
embryo is developing. That, well, probably not 9 months, but they've got quite a while. That they're just like, look, this is nobody has memory of these stages. Blah blah blah. We're just using it as a test model.
yeah, but right now it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like you
right
can
now
only
it's two.
keep an embryo for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's
or
And it
something
was the
that's
same with those.
yeah.
It's the same with those brain organelles that they were making.
Yeah, no, that's.
Um,
I think that report you sent said that it was around for like 200 and something days, but they were saying it wasn't
no, I don't think
replicating
so.
an actual. It wasn't replicating an embryo
Uh,
state or embryonic state.
oh, maybe I'm getting the. Let me have a look at it because I'm organized. I've got it up here on my phone, and I'm
Ah,
looking at them as we're talking.
nice. Yeah, so researchers from US conducted extensive genetic analysis of the so-called organoids,
Is that the
which
brains?
were allowed to grow in experimental dishes for up to 20 months.
Oh, is that the brains?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
brains in a
okay.
dish one.
Oh, okay. No, then I'm thinking of the embryos then.
Yeah.
You can't grow a full human.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. That one that
Okay.
you
Yeah.
sent me definitely said 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and that was the Aussie scientists working on that one, I think.
Yeah. Imagine
Um,
if that brain was thinking. So freaky.
well, yeah, I don't understand because I'm thinking of it in terms of like Alzheimer's, for example, where
Yeah.
you have a sort of a functioning brain. You have had it form all of its neural networks to create the memory pathways and everything, which are slowly depleting, and then but you've still got a consciousness operating within that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like
But the consciousness becomes fractured, right? It's like it's not
the no
right
the
with Alzheimer's. You've got a sense of self, but it comes and goes.
uh I don't think it's the sense of self that comes and goes. I think it's your ability to remember what your past was, or who you were, kind of thing.
Yeah, but you also lose stuff. It's like you start behaving erratically. You
I
start,
it can link
you
up
know,
with
it's not.
dementia. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you become like violent. You become,
yeah.
it's like you.
That's dementia. So that's slightly different to
Ah, well,
Alzheimer's. But yeah, the
I
but
always thought they were the same thing.
um,
Like
I
in terms
I
of
haven't actually
no.
researched it enough to know it. I know Alzheimer's is labeled differently as like dementia and senile dementia, so I'm
Hmm.
not sure
Oh, okay.
that they're necessarily linked, but they may go. I mean, there may be a spectrum of it,
Yeah,
as
because
opposed to two separate things.
it's weird that like like schizophrenia, you don't have a stable sense of self.
That's another one where what occurs is you get it can come with two different sort of things. So one would be the hallucinations, the auditory and visual hallucinations, and the
Yeah,
other
which
can be the like what is it? A dissociation, no, not dissociation, delusional thinking. So false memories start appearing, false rationalizations of events that took place would start appearing. So you'd remember
okay.
something that didn't happen at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of borderline personality. Where you don't. There's one where you don't
Multiple
like.
personality disorder?
No, multiple personality is like you keep becoming different. You have like
Yeah,
different personalities, but like
yeah.
there's one where you don't have a sense of self. Like
Oh,
there's no self to reference in your head.
is that like a dissociative thing?
Yeah,
Or
I thought it was like, uh,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure about
always
that
thought there
one.
was one where there was like your relationship to yourself is not there.
Yeah,
It's like
I
you,
guess that could be linked to the delusional stuff because
mm,
you have you start losing a frame of reference of what is and isn't real,
mm,
because some of it is just pure delusional thinking rather than events that were based in reality around you. So you might
yeah,
think
but
that
this
the
there's still something processing that, I guess.
yeah there is a person in the midst of
Yeah,
all that. It's just that the information that it's taking on board is not stabilized, so it can't. It starts going, I'm not sure if this is real or not.
Yeah.
Which I guess can, yeah, really impact your sense of self because you generally relate it to your continual stream of memory.
Mm.
And if you
Yeah.
start doubting that, then you start maybe doubting who you are.
But I mean, the other side of that is it's amazing how hard it is to get rid of the sense of self.
Yeah, I mean, you can take some hardcore drugs and like DMT or something and still like be a center of conscious self in the midst of
Yeah.
massively psychedelic experience.
Yeah, because it's always related back to I saw this, I saw that, I
Mm.
was one with everything. So,
Yeah. Um,
and even with like you're saying with dementia, it's like your brain's rotting,
yeah.
and there's never been a time with dementia where your brain hasn't rotted away the sense of self
Yeah, that's right. It's just you don't have as much access to your memories and
or your functions.
your
Yeah.
functions. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really interesting. Like if you are looking for consciousness, you can
Yeah.
basically look at all of the dementia brains and delete all the bits that have been rotted away
Yeah.
while still maintaining a self.
Y-
It's a,
Yeah, that's right. And that's where I was sort of going with that topic about the development of the neural whatever it was,
oh, the
the
organelles.
the
Yeah,
brain, yeah, the brain in a dish thing. It's like you can have a degenerated brain that it has a consciousness and a concept of
yeah,
self in there.
yeah,
Why wouldn't that then also exist in this
yeah.
thing?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. So you were saying that. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
weird, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like, and it's weird that they don't. I mean, I'm sure they think about it, but it's like you're literally growing brains in jars, and you're like, this is normal. Let's.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so weird.
yeah. So long as it doesn't look human, we're still good to keep it growing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah,
until you start getting those eye stalks under the brain,
yeah, yeah. That's right.
like
You can
looking
always
out at you.
just snip them out, right?
Put a pair of sunglasses on them.
Yeah, that's right. We've named him Fred.
Yeah,
Oh God. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm actually really excited about that level of research. I did find it pretty weird that that dude used CRISPR to inject himself live on TV. Um,
What? I didn't see that.
oh, which one did I send you on CRISPR?
The one where they are having trouble with CRISPR, so they cut the bit out and then it repairs incorrectly.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it
Does too much
it
collateral.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this one is there was a guy, what is his name? Josiah Zahner. Uh, watched a bio. Oh, okay, no, this is someone. He watched a biotech CEO drop his pants at a biohacking conference and inject himself with an untested herpes treatment. I mean, that just sounds like he had unprotected sex. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
He dropped his pants
He's like,
and got
go,
injected with the herpes.
but it's like, gotta do this before I go home or I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's okay because it's a conference. No, so, oh yeah, no, this guy Zahner, he what is it? He sterilized his body to transplant his entire microbiome in front of a reporter. No, 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 no. No. He injected his arm with DNA encoding for CRISPR that could theoretically enhance his muscles. He did this in between taking swigs of scotch at a live streamed event during an October conference. So this guy,
So that doesn't do anything.
yeah, well, he's not okay. He sounds crazy. Uh,
Well, actually, I would be interested. I mean, if someone's willing to make themselves a guinea pig, go for it.
So, but this
But yeah.
dude, like, he has a PhD in biochemistry and biophysics, and he runs a company called the Odin that sells DIY CRISPR kits, including the same one that he injected himself with for muscle growth.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Well, what I've learned is that people with PhDs are still really stupid. Right? It's
yeah,
like there used to be this. Remember when credentials were like really important? Like I think the last time was like in the 90s,
when they were hard to
maybe.
obtain.
Well, yeah, hard to obtain, and also they were the only people you would listen to.
Yeah, yeah,
And then not only did they become easier to get, but people started listening to them less. And it was because you would have scientists come on and just say the most crackpot stuff.
yeah,
And it's like, but you're still a scientist. You still went to school, you did all the learning, and then you formulated a wacky opinion.
yeah. And God knows
And
how many of them were bought out as well, which is,
yeah. And I mainly blame the nutritionists.
yeah, but that's not a science. I take
Yeah.
that. Um,
But it's like that. It's that
yeah,
idea of like they they like they've created so many studies about food that they've all cancelled each other out. Like there's so many
yeah,
conflicting views on food
yeah,
that you can't even they just completely cancel each other out.
yeah. It makes it a nightmare. You don't know what to eat
It
anymore.
and so then you stop listening to someone who's got a PhD because there'll be two people with PhDs saying complete opposite stuff based on science.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a nightmare.
yeah,
But,
yeah. It's okay. I would still trust a scientist so long as their
hmm,
work has been one, like, peer reviewed, two, retested and reconfirmed multiple times by
yeah,
other individual um, institutes that don't have a ball in the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're not there to look to make money out of it. They're just there testing it and proving a hypothesis.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's always the problem with the funding. That's always the
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
It's like who's funding it? Oh wow, look, they found what they wanted.
yeah,
And the other problem is the statistical analysis of things.
yeah. Because
It's
who
like to get
understands
a
that stuff?
statistic, but it's not just that. It's like to get a statistically significant event. I think it's like point 0.3 or something. And it's like you you basically like you can jerry rig things to, or you can just do multiple sets of tests,
Mm,
and one will give you a statistically significant result, and then you go with that one because that one will get you more funding. So it's it's
yeah,
like all
yeah,
it's just like okay, we ran three tests that were all the same. The middle one happened to give a statistically significant event. We're going to run with those results and publish those ones.
yeah, yeah. Because that's where the
It's like
money comes
that's
in. Yeah,
yeah. So that's why you get all these conflicting answers and stuff.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know. It's like I don't want to give up on scientists knowing stuff.
no, I don't at all. But I'm just saying
And I must admit, like, if you're
there's
gonna,
been a huge erosion in the trust.
oh,
That's the
for
problem.
sure, yeah, yeah.
You know, it,
Like, look, if anyone's gonna inject themselves with an untested um,
yeah,
biohacking kit, the guy with the PhD in biochemistry and biophysics probably has a better understanding of how things may or may not go wrong, so he may be
yeah,
mitigating the damage to a certain extent, as opposed to just like me going, I found this thing on the internet, says it's going to do
yeah,
that, let's give it a go.
yeah,
um,
yeah. There's a
but
lot of people in like UFC and stuff. that do stem cell recovery and stuff like that. Like if they get an injury,
Oh yeah.
and they fly down to South America um,
Yeah. And
because it's not legal in America.
yeah, what's the bet that these labs are funded by American companies?
Oh yeah, probably, probably just over the border just to like make it easy.
Oh man,
But
it smells like
yeah,
diesel in here at the moment. I think let me just check my window's not open because they often do fogging around here to get rid of mozzies.
oh,
And like,
lovely.
yeah,
Some,
it smells.
some DDT.
Yeah, no, I'm sealed up. I don't get it, but it's
Your
strong.
building's probably just on fire.
Oh, it's probably yeah. That makes more sense. Hold on, I'm just gonna shout at Ramiro to make sure the doors aren't open.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I think we should I think like you don't want to get a you don't want to have an operation from someone that hasn't gone to school and learnt it. You don't want to, you don't want someone to make a car or like create like something that you use that could kill you that hasn't gone to school to learn how to do it. But what I think the biggest problem is just the credentials no longer guarantee
Yeah,
um, like impartiality and expertise like they used to.
yeah, yeah. That's fair because it's a race to get your data out as well. It's
Yeah,
because there are too
because
many
there's only
people
so many
studying.
grants. There's
Yeah.
only so many grants, and there's only so much money, and you're,
But I mean, okay, I gotta admit, I am interested to follow this stuff because it'd be
oh
pretty cool to
yeah,
do some
it's cra
biohacking.
oh dude, it's crazy town.
Yeah. Uh,
Like,
if I
imagine
could,
adding an extra brain. You could add an extra brain or something.
well, I mean, if I could look, let's, let's not go. Slow down, egghead. Like the cone heads. Um, no, no. I was just thinking, like, I get allergies, right? If I could
Yeah,
get a shot of something that would just clear that problem out.
yeah, actually alter your immune response so
Yeah,
it's not
because
as
there's plenty of
active.
people that just
Yeah,
don't get affected that badly. Like if I
yeah,
can drink milk again without getting massive bloating and so on, that'd be
yeah,
wonderful. Um,
yeah,
yeah, just something to help that out a little bit would be great.
yeah.
Sure, obviously better like
You know, you know what
live.
would be, you know, what would be even better.
What?
Creating something that allows you to eat rubbish, not little rubbish, but like fast food, chocolates,
I was gonna say,
chips.
you're gonna start fighting with your dog for the cat tray at night. That's right. That's one.
But imagine, like, I mean, I've been thinking, I think about this every so often, right? That because all the humans are choosing to eat all this disgusting stuff,
Yeah.
right? Eventually, our bodies will adapt to it, and it will become something that we eat without any problems. Like that's how
Yes.
evolution works,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Pretty much. Yep.
So the ones that it'll just slowly go that way. It's and it's I mean you could argue that you're still able to mate by eating if you eat fast food, so it probably won't have that much of an effect. But you probably will have an epigenetic effect, which is like traits that are passed on. Like I was reading this in the 90s, but recently they've been talking about it as well, more into epigenetics, which is not DNA transferring things, but traits getting transferred. So it's like it's not random mutations. It's like you are passing on certain likes and dislikes and traits, like your weight, things like that. And there was a study just recently where they went into uh, a single sperm, and I can't remember how they did it, but basically the packing stuff that's packed around the DNA, they now think the enzymes that do that actually contain code that gets passed on to the offspring. So
Oh,
it there's a study where like rats that like so you put if you put rats under stress, right? You put rats under stress
yeah.
um, for their whole life, their offspring will be stronger,
Yes.
like bigger,
Yeah.
more muscular,
Correct. Yes.
and that's an epigenetic effect. It's not a genetic effect because it's not a
Right.
random mutation.
Right. It's a
It's
result
the
of environmental
parents
stimulus
by the parent
from the parent.
passing it onto their offspring in a non-random not it's not a random genetic
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
It's a repeatable result. So it's like
Yeah.
the parent is creating a stronger offspring through the input of their life.
Right. Yeah. Because
And
they're
that's an epigenetic effect.
right. Yeah. Right. So they're because their environment is stressful, then
Yeah,
their immune or their body's system is basically telling the embryo that it needs to be stronger to survive this harsher environment, and therefore the
exactly.
embryo grows in response to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it encodes certain things to make it a bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not passed on through that's not DNA. Like
Yeah.
that's not evolution. It's epigenetics.
Right.
And that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. So I'm wondering if you have like this massive shift in diet like we've had,
Yeah.
because like think about how we went from hunter-gatherers to agrarian.
Mm.
So all of a sudden we're eating massive amounts of grain. We're eating like much more fatty animals
Mm.
as opposed to lean animals because they're not running around all the time. They're just hanging out in paddocks. Um, like that's a pretty big diet shift.
Yeah.
Um, but we were
Oh,
producing offspring before, and now we've produced offspring then.
yeah. Like after the diet change. Oh, it looks like I've got a little bit of lag on the line. Um,
Uh, the agrarians.
okay, I think we're coming
Can you hear
back.
me?
Yep, it looks like we got our
Okay.
connection back up and running. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the agrarians gradually they would have had to adapt to the new diet.
Yes.
It'd be very unlikely that they just automatically were able to eat all that stuff.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like milk, right? It's like that's a massive line in the sand with diet. It's like, can you eat dairy or can't you eat dairy? You have a specific gene that allows you to do that.
Mm.
And I mean, the one of the theories is there was a massive famine and milk was the only thing that they could eat. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's how they're trying to explain it. It's like only the people that randomly have this gene.
Yeah, right.
But like you've got this other pathway which is epigenetics, and
Right.
it would be interesting to see what information is passed down and whether like you can start telling your kids or you're unintentionally telling your kids this is what food's available.
Mm.
Get yourself able to eat it,
Yeah, right. During the pregnancy stage.
or just through your life you are encoding
Oh,
your eggs, like the eggs that are well, it's more of the sperm because eggs are permanent, but it's like
right,
probably went through your childhood when you're kids and stuff like that.
right.
It's like you're creating, you're encoding these things,
Yeah, right.
and it's not the actual DNA that's changing; it's the enzymes around the DNA.
Mm. I mean, that would make a lot more sense because genetic evolution should be adaptive rather than random. Like it should be
Yeah, well,
something
it has
that's
to be.
adapting
It's
to the stimulus, because otherwise the likelihood of something actually developing within its environment purely through pure random mutation would basically just kill off entire populations every time,
yeah, exactly.
as opposed to something that's actually taking in information from the world around it and then
Yeah,
learning to cope with that. Trying to get to your
cat.
snacks, is it?
No, my cat's doing something weird. It ate one of my chocolate muffins today.
The cat?
The dog.
Did it die? I
Uh,
thought dogs couldn't eat chocolate.
no, I mean it was like, like a muffin this big,
Oh.
and it's like, I had it on my lap, and I was eating something else, and that was my dessert, and it just ran off.
Yeah, you're sleeping outside tonight, dog.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I agree. I
Hmm.
think that it has to play a role. So I wonder when we can eat pizza for free
Right.
without having to worry.
Yeah, right. Not this lifetime.
No, like when is it going to be like there's going to be some sort of fat cell regulator gene that like
Yeah.
doesn't let fat cells get big?
Yeah.
Because you know how fat cells work, right? Like
No.
you you never create more of them. You only have a set amount of fat cells in your body, and they just get bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you, you just get bigger and smaller. Like they don't replicate.
Right. So those like, because I've seen these disgusting videos of a plastic surgeon doing
Yeah.
like the fat removal from a belly or something,
Yeah.
and he
I
just like
saw that in what's the name?
pulls the layer of skin open. The
Yeah.
monastery autopsy videos.
No,
Oh.
the Tyler Durden. What's the Fight Club?
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah. But like this is the videos on TikTok, and some guy's just
Oh,
like, all
okay.
right, here you go, and just rips this whole bit off, and he slaps it on the table, and he's just like, all right, check this out, and he's like poking around, and inside there's just these large, yellow, kind of sealed, basically fat cells, and they're
Yeah.
huge, and they're just
Yeah.
sitting in there, and so those are actually individual cells. It looks like an egg yolk.
Yeah. I don't know if each one of those is one cell or it's a cluster,
Right,
but that I know that's how it works. It's like you don't fat cells don't multiply
right.
to create more. They just
Expand.
grow and expand and contract. And they
Right.
that's why when you get plastic surgery, it never comes back. Like you can't get fat anymore. Like
Oh,
you
because they've
so
removed the actual fat cells.
yeah, there's no way to actually get fat in that area.
Ooh, so it's got to store it elsewhere, like your blood.
Yeah, in your face.
Jesus,
We, weird, right? It's
yeah,
like
that's very weird. Huh. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about like that slab. It looks like a bit of pork belly. Like when you get into
oh,
that,
that is
just
pretty much what it is. Yeah.
I think I'm slowly getting high on these diesel fumes in here at the moment.
How are you getting diesel fumes?
Oh, look, it's so hot
Uh,
here. You got to open a window and stuff, and just
yeah.
yeah, it just
What else
pours
did I
in.
send you? Oh,
The next one
did
I
you see
had
the?
was the UFO one.
Oh yes, let's talk about UFOs. Should talked about the front to get the headlines. Um,
It's all right. I timestamp everything at the moment, so yeah,
oh, good job.
we're good.
I saw the latest one with the aliens on our face. That was hilarious.
I've done another one since then already.
Oh, really? No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen that one. But
Um.
yeah, so aliens. So the former director of intelligence.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video?
I did. Yeah. The reporter. He's
Yeah,
just like, I just want
yeah,
to ask about aliens, and he just starts talking about it.
yeah. And he's like, he's dancing around it, But then, like, she asked him another question. I can't quite remember what it was.
I was in relation to the release date of
Yeah, yeah.
the documents
And
in the first 30th of June or 1st of June or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and he's just like, oh yeah, we've got UFOs that break the sound barrier without making sonic booms, and
Yeah.
like do maneuvers that we can't possibly do,
Yeah.
and we worry about them being
Yeah.
our adversaries, but no
Yeah.
one can explain
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. This the like this is not just some dude.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is the
exactly.
former director of national intelligence.
Yep. And he was like, what did he say? Oh yeah, it's not just one sighting, it's all
No.
over the world
Yeah.
and multiple sensors on each one. And
Yeah, yeah, he was very frank
uh,
about it, and he's just
yeah,
like, yeah, and it's not. He's like, there's actually a fair amount. There's a fair amount that hasn't been released. So yeah, there's
yeah,
actually quite a lot.
exactly. He's like,
So,
it'd be really good to get that out.
yes, yes, it would. It would be incredible for us to actually start
Be able to
going. You know
judge
what?
everything.
Yeah, but actually, just go. You know what? This stuff is there. Now
Yeah,
that we can
exactly.
accept it
As opposed
globally,
to,
we're
yeah,
not going to shoot each other down over saying it anymore. Let's actually take a realistic look and be
yeah.
open about our findings.
So
So
crazy,
that
man.
would be awesome. That would be very awesome.
But it's really weird that it's all coming out now. Like it's been the last year has been all this stuff happening.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Like,
Like, well,
I mean,
20.
like you said, it's like since the 40s. There's. Can you look up Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Not the band. The
Ah,
what they're named after,
Dave
which is the
Grohl.
like,
We love
which
you.
is I can't remember if they were World War II or whether they were just what Foo Fighters
All right.
meaning.
So it was an American rock band formed in Seattle. um, All right, so it was used by Allied aircraft pilots during World War II to describe
World War
various
II.
UFOs or mysterious aerial phenomena seen in the skies over both European and Pacific areas of operation. So this is like 1944
Oh, okay. Yeah.
time. So formerly reported 1944 onwards, witnesses often assumed that Foo Fighters were secret weapons employed by the enemy.
Yeah. So
And it's the classic UFO shaped stuff. They're like, are these Nazi Foo Fighters? And it's just a UFO.
yeah, yeah. So like from the 40s, this stuff's been happening.
Yeah, so nearly 80 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this year is when they're talking about it and releasing reports from the government.
I mean, that in itself tells me it's alien tech. Because
Yeah.
they've had 80 years cracking away at it and nothing. No one's been
Yeah.
able to, like, here's our new ship, check out this technology
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
got. No, they've got nothing. They're still looking at it going, we have no idea what it's doing, how it's doing it,
Yeah. It's
or where it comes from.
very freaky.
Yeah. But it's just like, I mean, who was it? David Fravor's one was from 2017, right?
17, yeah, some 17 or 18.
Yeah, so it's going
But
back.
it only got released last year,
Oh,
right?
yeah, right.
So
Yeah, right. So it's, yeah, I guess that's what's happening. It's just somebody's decided to go, all right, it's been long enough. Let's
yeah,
just start letting the paperwork out. But
yeah.
yeah,
Elon Musk
yeah, go on.
he released this hilarious graph, which was camera sensitivity, and it had a graph like this, and it's like clear images of aliens, and he had like a line.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Jeez, yeah. Why was what did I see? I saw a video on real footage of alien sightings in the Queen, and so she's
the
standing there.
Queen.
she's standing there, and then she
Oh,
like
the actual queen.
yeah, the Queen of England.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's
okay.
like doing handshaking, and then she turns, and then one of her eyes like turns black, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
and they're like
yeah,
shape shifting. She's a shape shifting alien. And it's just like,
yeah.
is she
There's
though?
heaps of those. There's heaps of those where they do the double lid, like blink.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other one's
It's like
like,
the lizard people, where it's like,
yeah.
it's like, come on, guys.
I think I was mentioning that to you that I was trying to do a bit of a deep dive into
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Anunnaki and all that kind of stuff,
How's it
and
going?
it's just nonsense. It's just
Yeah,
utter nonsense. Like, it's not that those people didn't exist, but as in like the Anunnaki are a particular bunch of people around the same time as the Sumerians and a whole bunch of other different peoples. But
yeah,
like they were all supposed to be servants of these gods. And
yeah.
so the gods are all the ones that are depicted as these larger beings with different heads and stuff
Okay,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And so they were like the servants of them. And then, but that gets extended to all this conspiracy theory mythology where the Anunnaki themselves were a race from this planet called Nibiru. I think it's Nibiru, which is like this
Oh,
undiscovered,
that's the ninth planet or
yeah,
10th planet or
yeah,
whatever it
the
is.
one
Yeah,
that's like cycles every 1,000 years or 10,000 years or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that, and that like the masters are coming back, and they came down to Earth because they discovered that there was gold in Earth, and so they got the people of Earth, these Anunnaki or whatever, as slaves to dig up and mine the gold, and then used like the pyramids to shoot that gold off into space so that they could do whatever it is they did with the gold. I'm like, yeah, nah.
I follow these archaeologists on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Um, and they absolutely hate the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Um,
Yeah, don't blame them.
because they complain. The main argument is that it's basically just the idea is all those other people couldn't have possibly built that stuff. Like, there's no way they were smart enough to build all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's where it all stems from. It's like they were primitive, so therefore they couldn't have built it. Um, but one of my favorite is this guy called David on there. He like he I can't remember what did he do to show it. He just had a bunch of pictures
Mm.
of like pyramid shaped things.
Okay.
Like a pile of sand turns into a pyramid when you drop it all. Like all these different things that form pyramids.
Yeah.
And he's like, turns out when you stack blocks, they turn into a pyramid.
What?
Like, because there's this huge conspiracy that like, why are there pyramids around the whole world?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh, because that's the
because
easiest way.
when you stack blocks on top of each other, they end up being a pyramid.
Right. Yep.
It's like that's the easiest shape to make with a lot of blocks. So
Yeah.
if
Right.
you
You just
if
build
you
each layer, and because then you can still walk around the side, and oh my god.
yeah, and you're trying to make something like if you're trying to make something really high and you've got a lot of blocks, it's eventually just going to be a pyramid
Yeah.
because
Right.
you don't have supporting structures, so you can't go this way.
Yeah.
So you have to go that way.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so.
Yeah. It's like it's hilarious, man. Like like I just followed these dudes and they just bag out all this stuff because they're like we have all the answers for all this stuff, but no one the mainstream doesn't like
It's not
um
exciting.
yeah, it's just completely glossed over that they've done all this research.
Yeah.
It's like what do you think we've been doing for 120 years? Like it's all been researched. It's like there's explanations for pretty much everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There is still some mystery to these objects or these constructions because of the size and the scale and like you're saying the civilizations that were building them. But there's also a an inconsistency with the actual timelines of things because the whole idea of the flooding and everything that destroyed civilizations 10,000 years ago or whatnot is still not something that's actually accepted in mainstream
Yeah, not at all.
historical view so far.
Yeah,
But like that stuff that Graham Hancock and the other guy were like distributing was pretty
yeah,
compelling information. Um,
yeah. It's compelling because we don't know anything else, I think, which is what a lot of this stuff relies on.
yeah,
Like, I think it makes sense what he's saying,
yeah, but it
but
it does actually line up. Okay, it's not proof, but it does have line up with a lot of different cultures' statements of, like written statements of the Great Flood or the times of the flooding when.
no, totally. But we don't. He's hand picking all that stuff. It's
Yeah,
like
of course.
we don't know the cultures where there's no reference to it.
Yeah.
We don't know cultures where there's a reference to a desert at that time. It's like
Mm.
there might be cultures that he just omitted that were like we had a massive drought 12,000 years. It's like
Yeah, right.
this this is the problem with it all. It's like unless and that's why it's with any of these things it's dangerous to have one person as your source of information.
Yeah.
Like it's like you have to have a community of people forming a consensus.
Yeah.
And oh, that brings up, did you see the new physics thing?
No, that one oh no, I did read it, but I didn't read it enough to actually know what it's talking about because it's,
Yeah, it's
what is
it's
it, these,
basically the Large Hadron Collider.
yeah,
Where is it?
yeah,
So
so,
so the Large Hadron Collider, they've recorded enough instances of these. Is it the muons?
let's have a look here. B mesons.
Oh, mesons. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the mesons, which is the beauty mesons,
yeah, they're
and
paired quarks, it says.
yeah, and so when they break down, there's too many electrons,
Yeah, so they
and
disintegrate
not
into muons and electrons at an uneven rate. Yeah,
muons and electrons,
yeah,
or oh, yeah, mesons. That's right. That's where I got them. Yeah, so it's like, and there's too many electrons and not
yeah,
enough muons,
yeah.
which is giving them excitement because there may be an alt physics that they can discover,
I
which is
mean,
probably not exciting for anyone, but
considering I'm not quite sure what a muon or a meson is, and I could,
they're just tiny particles. It's like just like quarks, and quarks make up neutrons and protons. So it's like
yeah,
you normally have like the up quark, the down quark,
the
the weird
one and a
quark
half
or something.
spinning rotation
Yeah,
quark, and yeah,
yeah. And so you have like all these different types,
mm.
and they've mapped most of what's inside them by exploding them. But these ones are giving a weird result.
Oh yeah, consistently giving a weird
Hmm.
result. Yeah, yeah.
A
I mean,
statistical significant event.
0.3,
Yeah,
0.3%. Yeah. No, they're saying what is it? The likelihood of CERN's results being a fluke are just 1 in 1,000, but that isn't a small
yeah,
enough chance for the standards of physics
yeah,
observations. They prefer it to be 1 in 1 million, so they're going to keep
yeah.
retesting it until they can be much more certain that it's a consistently replicable anomalous event.
Yeah. And so they're basically like I think there's an upgrade coming on their sensors in the CERN, and they're gonna yeah, they're gonna retest it once they do that.
Okay. Yeah, what is it? The
Yeah.
measurement is made by the Large Hadron Collider. Collaboration compares two types of decays of beauty quarks, the electron and the muon, together with a third particle called the tau. They are
Yeah,
types of
tau.
leptons, which also
Yeah.
means nothing to me, and they are referred to
Different
as
flavors.
flavors. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
this is moving well beyond.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't understand either, but all it means is they found something uncertain, which is exciting because they don't really find uncertainty very often anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Um, yeah, I'd like to see what comes out of that, but at the moment,
Yeah.
I don't. I have to read up on more of what this stuff is and does before I can fully get why they're excited that it's
Yeah.
a new event. Because it
Yeah.
might not be a different force. It might just be that they're not quite sure how they're supposed to track it well.
No, well, I think the reason why it's a new force is because those ratios wouldn't hold together without something holding them together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
'Cause it's not like a bag that they pop and things come out. It's not like a piñata. It's like these things are spinning in an orbit and that forms the quark. Just like electrons are spinning in an orbit and form an atom. It's like it's like that's the boundary. It's not,
all right.
you know what I mean? It's not a,
These are subatomic particles.
yeah, these are subatomic. They're in the there's subnuclear. Like they're like below neutrons.
Right.
No, they're inside neutrons. But it's like, everything's not there. It's all just like spinning smaller bits that make them in some sort of like interference pattern,
So bizarre.
which coalesces into either a direction or a speed when you observe it.
Yeah. 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 No,
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
lacking behind on that one.
let's move into
'Cause, Jesus.
uh, woke culture.
Oh my god.
Two things. Two things.
Yeah.
The first one is peak meat.
Hold on. Let me just calm my nerves before we start this one, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
rage at one of these topics here.
Yeah. So
Yep.
peak meat is they are estimating. I mean, ultimately it is market forces, so you can't really get that angry at it. But I think I mentioned this many weeks back about how I'm noticing more and more and more advertising around insects,
Yeah.
fake meat,
Yep.
like all this stuff. It's like this, like they're like trying to influence everyone to eat all this like stuff.
Yeah. Plant-based protein,
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And this is another one where it's like in, I think they're saying 20, what was it, 2025, which is only like a few years from now. They think that'll be the peak of how much meat is consumed.
Yes.
And from then on it'll go down.
So they're saying plant-based meats will match regular meat on price by 2023.
Yeah, and so then people start consuming that instead of meat,
Yeah.
which I won't. So the thing that annoys me is
Yeah.
that it's gonna become like a poor alternative, like sausages are to a steak. It's like it's gonna become, well, I'll eat the plankton sausage because that's cheaper, and
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So,
It,
as I've mentioned previously, I'm like trying out a vegetarian kind of a diet.
yeah,
It's definitely not pure vegetarian. Like I ate
yeah,
bacon tonight. It was delicious. Never give up bacon. Don't give up on your dreams. Um, but
yeah,
um, it's what we are doing is we're having a stack more vegetables, and we are getting
yeah,
protein from plant-based matter rather than meat.
yeah,
So like for example, like Ramiro made a rendang, which is this like delicious spicy kind of a Indian
normally
dish.
served with beef. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was a beef rendang that she made.
yeah,
But like we'd have these small cubes of meat, and each serving would only have one of the cubes.
yeah,
just because we weren't using much meat in the
Yeah.
recipe. But it's a nice flavor that comes out of it. Plus, we had it in the freezer, so we were trying to use it up.
Yeah.
And also, it's good. I think it's good to not entirely eradicate it from the diet. I don't think we
Yeah.
should be trying to get rid of meat entirely, or at least our bodies are not ready for that yet. But what we're seeing is that you need a certain amount of protein in your diet. Like
Yeah.
I think it's about zero point 0.8 of a gram per kilo of body weight is a maintenance number. If you're trying to like gain weight, if you're working out and so on, you're probably looking at nearly
Yeah.
2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight.
2 grams.
Yeah. So if you're
So, so I need 200 grams
yeah
per day.
yeah so
Wonder
pretty
how much
much
protein a steak has.
it's at about 20. It's about 25% protein is a steak. Same with chicken.
So,
Same with
I need a kilo of steak.
yeah. Yeah, if you just eat steak throughout your whole day, you'll want 3 meals of
Yeah.
330 grams slab steak for your protein. Um,
That's. I mean, I'm happy, but yeah,
yeah,
that's.
yeah. So like, some people go on those like meat diets, which are
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty heavily in the protein, and that's
Yeah.
what they do. They just eat a bunch of meat throughout the day, and you can do that. Soy protein works at about the same amount. Soy
Yeah.
protein powders are about 25 grams of protein per. It's actually when you mix it as a powder, those things are almost pure protein. So they're actually a fair amount of protein content
Yeah.
per gram. I'm
Yeah.
not sure the exact ratios, but I think it's quite high. Like it's definitely higher than
Yeah.
beef. But it's this, it's a disgusting powdery
It's a
mix.
slurry. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're trying to get your protein amounts in, and you're trying to do it on a vegetable or 100% plant-based method, not many foods have it. Your lentils, seeds, nuts,
Chickpeas.
yeah, chickpeas and the
Yeah.
soy stuff. That's your
I think
main. Yeah, so
cashews have some
nuts and
protein.
seed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
nuts. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peanuts, cashews, sunflower seeds,
Yeah.
pumpkin seeds, all that stuff. It's at around like 15 to 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. This stuff, it's not bad. But things
But
like
100 grams of cashews is like,
it's about 25 grams of protein, but yeah, you're like,
but that's a lot of cashews.
yeah, yeah, it's one of those small little tubs of cashews.
Yeah.
But you could eat that pretty comfortably and as
Yeah.
like a snack throughout the day. And that's already like a quarter
Yeah.
of
I
your,
guess. Yeah. Splitting it up, you could. Yeah.
yeah, and that's a quarter of your maintenance like protein
Yeah.
throughout the day. But the flavor, like if you really want to pack it in and get that 200 grams of protein, you're
Yeah.
gonna need to take protein shakes. You're probably gonna need to have like
Yeah.
4 of them a day, alongside your
Yeah.
normal meals.
God
And
damn.
that stuff, like we're trying it out, and it's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
just disgusting. I don't know if it's the brand we're
Yeah.
having or what, but the flavoring on it is just it's just okay. There is the problem where you've got to a lot of people that are having it are trying to also keep their weight down, and so you don't want much sugars through it, and so it's like
Yeah.
a low calorie, high protein
Yeah.
concentrate,
Okay. Yeah.
and the flavor on it is not good.
Yeah. I
Um,
think it's. See, I think a healthy diet is avoiding those things. Like, if you ask me, like it's avoiding the processed rubbish
yeah,
is more of what a healthy diet is.
yeah,
Which is what my main argument against processed meats,
yeah,
like these fake meats are.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
that's what I was getting to. Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So all of this stuff is coming out because people want the protein that comes out of it. Like you'll probably notice the
yeah.
packaging on a lot of these products will tell you the exact grammage of protein that's in that
Okay,
product.
yeah,
Plus you like want the flavor of it because the
yeah,
idea of it tasting better than like this
yeah. You
chalky.
want the texture and flavor of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So for me, that's not something for vegetarians, because if you're a vegetarian,
Yeah,
you don't want meat advertised at you. You want
yeah,
plant product.
yeah,
It's like I would rather eat tempeh and like soy product as sold as a soy product than like a fake
yeah,
meat thrown at me.
yeah.
Um,
Which is the problem.
yeah,
Is that it's like this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to wean people off meat
yeah,
by giving them fake meat,
yeah,
and you're literally turning it into what they did in all the horror science fiction books, where everyone's eating these like highly processed, like I mean,
yeah,
Soylent Green is probably the most extreme, but like
yeah,
you look at all these things that like they eat in like the Matrix and like
yeah. This
um
is paste.
yeah, it's like all these things is like it's ending up as reality.
Yeah, yeah,
You're going to be eating ground crickets and mealworms and stuff like that,
yeah,
and
yeah. Which is
and
why
it's just like this.
Sorry, go on. Yep.
Well, it's just like this marketing machine. It's like that's what they're trying to do. They're like,
Yep.
how can we stuff people with protein cheaper?
Yeah. Look, eat lentils. The
Yeah.
dal is such a good source of protein. It's such a rich source of protein, and I was being told that like when you soak it and let them sprout, that they
Yeah.
actually are an even richer source of protein at that point. And so you can get
Oh, okay.
all your daily needs of protein out of eating that stuff. But it does mean that your diet is dal breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's tasty when you cook it with the right spices. It's very
Yeah.
tasty when you cook it with the right spices.
I know. Dal's delicious.
Yeah,
So I think like if a steak ever ends up just being $100 at the shops, like I want to have like a normal steak and I have to pay $100 for it.
yeah,
It's like I will have to go vegetarian, but I will not eat the supplement stuff.
no,
It's like
yeah,
that's the thing. It's
yeah,
like it's like I would rather eat normal food
yeah,
than eat like extruded paste that's been formed into the shape of a piece of meat.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
Being
it's like
being
so
sold to people that actually want meat.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like now with real meat flavor. It's that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
yeah,
like we've got our lab monkeys to put the perfect chemicals in that, so you will think it's bacon.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. And so it.
And imagine growing up with that, never having tasted bacon.
Ooh, that's an unhappy world.
But like that's what's gonna eventually occur, right? It's gonna
Yeah,
be you're gonna get that generation which is like ours or the next one.
yeah,
Well, it's definitely the next one because like my kid's eating it. So it's like
yeah,
maybe her kids, maybe she'll be the last generation where it's like had real stuff and then she's feeding her kids fake stuff
yeah,
and going, "Oh, I remember the old taste. The old taste was better,
yeah. Because
but this is all we can afford.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here you go, kids."
Well, look, the only welcoming thing I have to it is that if they actually get better at producing like a protein rich plant substance, that it will actually taste a bit better.
Yeah, but
Because
I don't want powders. I don't want
mm,
elixirs. I don't want things that come in
al-
vats or
although in
jars.
saying that
It's like,
in saying that you still, if you want to get like a high protein amount in your diet each day, you're going to have to eat a hell of a lot of protein dense food already. You're going to have to eat a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, a
but
lot
I mean,
of
that's what
nuts
I
and all
do.
that sort of stuff.
That's what I do. It's like
Yeah.
I eat meat like all the time, and I eat eggs every week, and I eat
Yeah, I mean
like
they only contain about 13 grams of protein, so you want like at least between 2 and 4 eggs each day, anywhere up to
I definitely don't eat that much, but
half a kilo of meat
yeah, I eat about half a kilo of meat
every day.
most days.
Jesus. Yeah, actually, we were probably doing that as well
Yeah,
with the chicken and beef
yeah,
and stuff.
it's like I can easily do that.
Yeah. Um, because that would probably work out at about about 125 grams of protein in that.
Yeah, so I try and I've stopped my intake of like processed meats like hams and salamis and stuff like that,
Right.
except for when I eat pizza. But it's like I've stopped that as much as I can because I know it's like the sulfates in there aren't very good.
Yeah.
But just a steak, like
Oh
I'll
man.
eat a steak,
Yeah.
like no problem.
Oh yeah. No.
And
Yeah. I'm probably never gonna give those up entirely, but I
yeah,
probably will cut them
like
down to like once a month or something.
yeah, like I get big like those big tomahawks,
Oh yeah.
just like on the barbecue, salt and pepper, nothing
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Oh, they don't
So
need
I
it when
eat,
they're cooked right.
yeah, and it's yeah, it's a lot of meat, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to the final
Okay.
atrocity of the woke culture, the suggestion to cancel the golden gay time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell Ramira about this one as well because she loves those. Um, eh,
The alternate suggestion is the golden happy time
oh, for God's sake!
because that's what they really meant anyway. It's like no, the word gay was happy before it was homosexual.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
They're not stealing it
it's
from anyone. That's
yeah.
it,
Like a lot of the comments I read on the signatory page where it's like, sign up to a protest,
yeah,
um, is all like, we've got to take that word back. It's like, no, you took it in the first place.
yeah, yeah, exactly. This ice cream has been around longer than the gay movement.
Yeah. And it's also just
1959,
exactly.
and it had
So
not
it's
yet
all,
been applied to any gender preferencing.
and surely the reason why homosexuals got the gay label was linked to some sort of like because they're happy.
Yeah,
Surely,
probably.
right? It's like you're not just gonna put that on there for no reason. So it's like it's just such a weird thing to go after.
How can
Like,
you?
I mean, they took coon cheese.
Oops. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep. So I just had a pop
Yeah.
up come up.
Oh no, they took coon cheese. There's no longer coon cheese anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Uh, even though the guy's name was Coon.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I can kind of understand because it's like, yeah, okay, it is a racial slur, but
Your name just
like,
happens to be a racial slur.
yeah, it's like unfortunate.
Hi, my name is
But
Kris, slave
it's
owner.
like, yeah, exactly. But like gay time. It's like that's been the name forever.
Yeah.
It's
But the thing is,
and it's not.
it's such an iconic Australian ice cream, and everybody loves
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
there's only 800 bloody signatures on this thing. 800 hate-filled people have signed
Yeah,
this petition to try and get rid of to try and rename the ice cream. Yeah.
and that's all it takes to get Streets to respond.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Streets responded to them, going, "We didn't realize that there was any sort of." And in the article, the guy says, "I'm not personally offended. I'm bringing this up for other people that may be affected by it."
no, you don't have the right to speak for those people that may or may not be offended by it. It's either you are or you
These
aren't. And if you're not,
these
stay the heck.
imaginary people. Like if you are offended by something, say something.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get on a
If you're
crusade that no one has started.
exactly, if you're complaining about something because you thought of it, oh,
Yeah.
I just thought maybe this might be
Yeah.
offensive.
So
Let's put it out there and see if
so
people find
since
it offensive.
1959, this ice cream has been going around. The brand is saying that the name Gay Time was never intended to cause offense, and your petition is the first that we have been made aware that it even might be. And the owner of the petition himself is going, we're not sure if it is either.
I
But
just want to
800
throw it
people
out
have
there.
signed it.
But you're gonna
Oh,
get 800 crazy people to complain about anything.
yeah, of course. They're probably not.
So it's
No, like I said, I
it
am going
it's
to personally visit each of those people's houses and just jam
yeah.
an ice cream down their throat.
Yeah, it's like a it's like the it's like that thing of like, oh, there's something to attach myself to, so I'm gonna go over there and put my 2 cents in,
The guy's
and I'm
saying,
gonna get
yeah, the story isn't about myself, but I've read online comments that seem passionate. This, come
but
on, man.
but also
Everything
they seem
online.
passionate, but the comments are from his petition. So it's like he's created a petition, and then all these people have ganged up like on it. It's like a forum, like where you like it's basically like a petition page, right?
Yeah,
It takes very little effort to sign on,
yeah,
and people want to identify with other people. They want to complain about something with other people.
right.
So then they put their testimonials up. Ever since I was a kid, every time I took one of those, like I felt like I was being targeted. It's like you get all these people pretending to be like upset about it.
Yeah, no, I don't. That one I don't like because it actually states in this article many LGBTIQ people have commented that they in fact enjoy the Camp Golden Gay Time branding.
Exactly.
And I think you can even get it in like rainbow flavor now. That it's just
Yeah.
it's such an inclusive product. This is the thing that I'm hating, right? In Malaysia, for example, if it's Hari Raya, everyone says Happy Hari Raya. If it's
Yeah.
Diwali, Happy Diwali. If it's Christmas,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. If it any
Yeah.
of the religious holidays, they embrace it and then they offer their happiness towards that religious holiday. You get a woke movement that says we will not allow you to state Christmas. It can be happy holidays or happy. You're basically saying you're not allowed to share your faith with us.
Yeah.
And this is what I don't like. So, like, we're now basically telling people you're not allowed to say the word gay. It's a taboo
Yeah.
word now. As
Yeah.
opposed to, like, why not celebrate this with product with something that identifies with it and that people can come together and enjoy? Because everybody here loves celebrating, like, Hari Raya. They'll go
Yeah.
out, they'll like eat at each other's houses because the food that they put out on the spread is delicious. They'll do the same thing in Diwali, Chinese New Year. We're all doing it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
They embrace each other's culture. They're
Well,
not
you get the same in
shutting it
you get
down.
you get the same in Darwin, where it's like all the celebrations have their days or whatever,
Nice.
and it just becomes a food fair.
Yeah.
It's like,
Tell you
and
what. Yeah.
it's so crazy. But anyway, I got temporarily suspended from Twitter.
Did ya?
Yeah, the algorithm suspended me. No
Oh.
one complained. It was within 10 seconds of me tweeting it,
Yeah.
and it was a comment under someone else's thing. So someone was saying something, and they had retweeted someone else's statement.
Yep.
So you get the little box, and
Okay.
then your
Oh
your
yes.
tweet goes
Yep.
above that box,
Yep.
and they were saying how they disagreed with this person's statement,
Mhm.
and my statement was retards are gonna retard.
You dropped the R bomb, Simon.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
that's all I said. I wasn't like attacking anyone.
Oh
I
dear.
was just commenting on the idea that I thought the idea was retarded, and
Yeah.
in 10 seconds I got
Yeah.
suspended, and you must delete this tweet. Otherwise, we won't reinstate your Twitter.
Yeah, you gotta learn where to put in the special characters within the word so that it doesn't look
That's
like
what
a
that's what my mate said. He said, no, you can't use retard. You have to use spurg.
spurg. Is that the one people are going with now?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my,
you can't.
this is the problem. It's like you're just forcing people to come. I mean, I like it. You're coming up with new inventive ways to insult each other. But oh my
I,
gosh,
I'm
spurg.
not trying to offend.
That's
I'm not trying to offend like disabled people.
no, of course. It's the idea. Look,
It's
retardation is it's a. I don't want to get into
yeah.
the
And
etymology of the
anyway,
word.
I just thought I'd say that because it was hilarious.
Oh my
But
god.
eventually, and this was brought up when, yeah, eventually, like the woke movement is eventually just going to eat itself
For sure.
because no one's going to be pure enough.
No.
No one is going to be pure enough to pass all the tests.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The greatest woke activist will be taken
Yeah.
down by other woke activists.
Yeah, and it's just becoming like they're searching further and further into people's histories, looking for any little thing
Yeah.
to pick up on. And it's like, they're going after kids when they were like teenagers and
Yeah.
like, stuff they said that was recorded or
Yeah.
was tweeted or messaged or like when they were kids.
Yeah.
It's like insane.
Yeah.
As if you haven't changed as
Yeah.
since you were like
Or
13.
that you've never said anything stupid in your
Yeah,
entire life.
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't really think that it was a good idea that everyone should be detailing the entirety of their lives online anyway. Like
no,
that
no,
that shouldn't
no,
have happened to
exactly.
begin with. But I mean, there's two directions you could go from that. People stop posting, or the
Yeah,
other one is that they claim ownership of it before it can be targeted against them. So they just,
yeah,
here is me. This is exactly
yeah,
what I am. There's nothing you can tell me about me that I haven't
yeah,
already claimed ownership of already. Or
yeah, exactly.
you can just backflip on any statement you've said. Yep, I said this particular thing beforehand. It was wrong of me. All right, here's the next thing I'm doing.
Yeah, but the problem is that their culture.
It doesn't allow for
So
apology.
yeah, so it's like you get cancelled. So it's like you have a job, you have all these things, and you get cancelled, and you never get that job. You lose that job. You lose all your sources of income,
Yeah,
and just based on a movement.
yeah,
So, and it's the same with the gay time. It's like they're trying to change it with complaining,
yeah,
like basically.
yeah,
And it's a small minority that's trying to impose their view
yeah,
on people who just don't care. It's
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna form another petition that's like keep it. So the people that are complaining are the ones that are gonna eventually have the voice.
I wonder if it will cause like an alternate movement backlash against taking it down
Well,
because
it is, yeah,
it's not an offensive icon. That's the thing. It's not actually
yeah,
something
exactly.
that's offensive in any way. I grew up with them. I still love them as an ice cream.
I
Um,
if I I have a preference for them, like in
yeah.
terms of
Oh, for
like there's
sure.
a hierarchy of ice creams, and this is like way at the top.
Yeah. Oh no, they're an excellent ice cream for
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if people actually have negative associations with it, and if there is, there's 800 people, and they're what was the term that you used? That's the new one, spurgs.
Exactly.
Oh my god! Oh, I can't believe that's. I can't believe that's the
But it's
word.
it's it's actually worse.
It is. It
It's
is.
like retard's an actual thing. Asperger's just like,
For Asperger's.
yeah, it's like,
Oh, Jesus. Oh, how do they come up with that stuff?
oh,
That's
but
hilarious.
it's just so weird.
Oh dear. We should probably D&D wrap up.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, wait. Before we do that, because I made one find that I saw. You know how I've been complaining for a little while about guesswork in mathematics, right? I think I
Yeah.
sent you that quote from
Oh,
Einstein
yeah.
himself,
We
who,
we we are as smart as Einstein
yeah, he
because we.
said, what is it? Uh, as far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, maybe I'll drop the accent so people understand. So, as far as
Yeah,
the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain. And as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. And
yeah,
so this was like my thing that I had a few weeks back, where I was just like, there is no accurate measurement of anything. Mathematics
yeah,
is just a refined point where we guess that say, you know what, good enough.
yeah. It's not
And
gonna make the plane crash.
no, but literally like the day after we had that podcast go up, there's this other dude, Veritasium, who
Yeah,
does
yeah,
a podcast. He's very cool.
yeah. He's awesome. Australian
He
dude.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah,
oh
from
yeah,
Melbourne, I think.
he does an excellent job.
Yeah,
But he put up a post about how Newton's theories revolutionized the way in which they calculate pi, and it was
oh, I didn't see that one yet. I did see the.
you saw it, that
I
like it
saw the
dropped up in the
title.
feed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I looked at it because I was just like,
Hmm.
this is exactly my point. Like, is there a deeper understanding of the calculation of pi that helps like get a where it does round out as an accurate review of an actual number, and it does
Yeah,
relate to an actual variable. And no, it doesn't. But what was going on, right, was that there was these people, these mathematicians previous to Newton, that had worked out a particular formula for calculating pi, and the formula that they used was I can't explain it. Go watch the video from Veritasium. It's much clearer because it's graphical and stuff. But basically, it was taking a whole bunch of singular variables and calculating them over something else, like it was 2n something divided by
yeah,
another value, and then you would calculate the next variance of that and the next one, so that you could get more and more refined values of pi.
yeah.
And however, the number to which you would calculate pi to would take longer and longer. So if you wanted to do it to 1,000 places, some guy did it in a week, for example, and then
Oh, okay.
some
Yeah,
dude's
yeah.
like, you know what, I'm gonna go and beat that, and I'm gonna do it in a month. And so he
Oh,
starts
okay.
just calculating pi to this long extent, and it gets to a month. This one dude spent 25 years. This Dutch mathematician spent 25 years of his life calculating pi out to a pretty high number. It was yeah, it
Well,
was a
you'd hope so after 25 years.
yeah,
Right?
so like this was his like crowning achievement, right? He got that number inscribed onto his tombstone. Like
That's a big tombstone.
after it, yeah, so it was a big thing. But what happened, like, and it was a short time after, like, a few years or 20 years, not that long. Newton comes along, starts seeing patterns, and there's that, what is it, Pascal's triangle, the one where you've got like the value of one at the
Yeah,
top,
yeah,
one on
yeah,
either
yeah,
side below, and then they start becoming values that goes 1 2 1,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then 1 3 2 whatever.
yeah.
So
It's
Newton,
basically a number sequence. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and so
yeah,
but Newton realized that this number sequence was actually something that you could use to skip a whole bunch of steps in the calculation of pi and still give you the same exact answer. So he was
Wow.
like, oh, here's just a better way of creating the algorithm for your
Yeah,
calculation. And so he goes and like, he spends like, I don't know, a couple weeks on it or something, calculates it to way further than what that dude ever did in his 25 years.
But I hope that dude was dead before
Yeah,
he
yeah,
did that.
he was he's already gone. But yeah,
That would have killed him.
yeah, that's right. 25 years. Um, yeah, so like Newton came along and like revolutionized the way in which they looked at formulas for calculating these values to very high
Yeah.
extents. But it's still not an accurate representation of the number pi, because that is still an infinite value, and so you get these
Yeah.
values that are much closer to what it's probably is, but
Hmm.
it's still not the correct number. It's still a variable range. It's like, here's the base value,
So crazy.
here's
Yeah.
the value we can calculate it to. The actual value is somewhere between that, but we don't know how to calculate that. Or at least they can't represent it mathematically because it's an infinite number.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, and so yeah, I was like, okay, that's really cool, but now you're coming back to what Einstein is saying, is that it's just like, our laws of mathematics currently are not a certain representation of reality.
Yeah.
But what you're getting is like physicists going, the amount that we calculate it to is good enough. Like the actual
Yeah. Yeah.
variance that will occur as a result of us not calculating it to the infinite position is not large enough to actually make an observable or noticeable difference on the
Yeah.
value that we're trying to predict or
Yeah.
calculate
So
through this model.
not good for finding the truth, but good for doing stuff.
Yeah, good enough. It's good enough, and
Yeah.
so that's where it comes down to in mathematics. Is so far there is no certainty.
So crazy.
Yeah, it's massively frustrating. It's like we will know it, but I don't know if you remember me talking about a couple weeks ago, where I was saying the main issue that we as humans are having in trying to understand and observe the universe is that our picture of the timeline of what's occurred is very, very small.
Cupcake.
Going for the going
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, it's very small. And so what we haven't been able to observe is the larger amount of time that has traversed over the universe to get everything up to the way it is right now.
Yeah.
But if you're going to try and make predictions about how things are the way they are, you need certainty. You need a high enough value of representation of what you're measuring, because if you stretch that observation out over 14 billion years, or whatever the age of the universe, the variance in your end result may be large enough that it doesn't actually accurately depict anything at all.
Yeah.
Because if it's like if you send out a beam of light and then you send one that's tiny fraction of a percentage of a degree away from that one, it's going to look like they're a same line for a very long amount of time, but you spread that over 14 billion years, these things may end up so far apart that you don't even know that they both exist anymore.
It's weird because I think they start looking parallel once you get far enough away.
Yeah, it no longer looks like the same value.
But it no longer looks like a V.
Yeah, right. That's true.
As well.
Yeah, that's true.
Like once you lose the reference, it looks like they're parallel lines.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, you end up with an uncertainty that's within all of your calculations, based on the fact that you don't have a way to actually represent what you're observing mathematically currently.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my last point that I wanted to bring up. That stop studying maths, it's stupid. But no.
Okay.
So sorry, the very, very last bit. So the reason why Newton was cool was because he looked at the former laws that they had of maths in how to calculate these values, and he just stopped applying them. And he's just like, I'm just going to look at a completely new way of doing this.
Yeah.
And then came up with a better and more efficient system. So I think that's what we need to start doing. And I'm guessing that's what you're talking about with alt physics and stuff, is like the path that we're
Yeah,
going down, we've basically reached the conclusion points of it, and it's just not getting us the answers we
yeah,
need. So it's time for alternate thinking.
yeah. We keep just getting the same results
Yeah,
and just being like, oh well,
yeah.
yeah,
All right, that's it for my rant.
cool. All good points. And I think maths is, yeah. I mean, it's always going to be an approximation, but we can get thinner. We can
Well,
make the veil thinner.
with our current method of understanding mathematics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Anyway, D&D. What do
D&D.
you think?
Well, I mean, I obviously enjoyed the last game that we played because I got to finally encounter Tom, and it turns out he was a giant version of myself, a Goliath.
Yeah.
So yeah, my character went into a mystic cave and met
Well, that's
Tom.
how he appeared to you, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna run with. It's like, you all
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
he was human, stupid. Turns out he's Goliath.
yeah,
But yeah, it got to do like a quest or a test for him, and awoke his multi-class of being a cleric, a war cleric now, or a war priest,
yeah.
which is pretty
It's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, he now has
You
the
get to play
ability to actually hopefully cure poisons and curses and that sort of conditions
well, you do have
if he lives long enough.
yeah. You
Because
guys slowly are turning into zombies.
yeah, yeah, he also managed to put that on us. So, and we got no way of healing any of that stuff at all. So
No.
unless we find a temple somewhere with a priest, or I magically level up
Yeah.
anytime soon, which is probably not going to happen.
Well, you just leveled up, so yeah,
Exactly.
it will be a while.
Yeah. So yeah, at the moment we're on a mountainside trying to rescue a unicorn, and
Yeah, well, so basically, you guys, I think 2 weeks ago, you were at the base of the mountain,
yeah,
and you guys journeyed up through the mountain. Um, V realized he could actually make everyone fly,
yeah,
which shortened the journey considerably. So
yes,
you flew up the mountain. So he's a sorcerer, so he could twin the spell fly at a higher level using sorcery points and get enough of the party to be able to fly.
yeah.
You guys, what did you do? You encountered some harpies,
Oh yeah, smashed them.
which, well, I mean, they nearly killed you, but you did end up smashing them.
Okay, the first one I encountered, I
Yeah,
smashed.
yeah, no, you smashed the leader, like,
Yeah,
basically made her prone, which she was flying, which then made her fall,
yeah, yeah,
which is a really bizarre rule, but yeah, that's how it works.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I would say, I mean, that's how that guy on Twitter, Jeremy or whatever his name is, the one that co-created the rules,
oh yeah,
ruled it.
yeah,
I would argue that you can't make a flying creature prone because there's no ground. But yeah,
yeah. You can't really trip
his
it up or
argument is,
anything, but
yeah, it's like his argument is once you invoke, because his is more of a technical argument. So it's like
mm,
you have the ability to make creatures prone.
mm,
Once a creature is prone, has the prone condition, like it's like a condition you add on to the creature,
yeah,
that reduces their speed to zero.
yeah. I mean, look, it for me,
Yeah,
it's you should be able to shoot a flying creature out of the sky if you clip its
you can
wing or
shoot
whatever,
one.
or hit it
No,
or
I
whatever.
agree with that.
Yeah,
If you wrap it up in a net or something like that.
yeah, or you clip
But
its wing or something.
yeah, yeah, what you're doing is tripping them, though, I believe.
Um, what's the maneuver's called? Yeah, there's a particular maneuver that yeah, it's called something like that. Yeah, tripping attack or something
Yeah,
like that. And but
yeah,
it effectively makes the creature prone. So
yeah. So it's a purely mechanical thing. Like you can't think of it as
yeah,
like we have a tendency to think of it as like you're this guy. and you're fighting a creature that's flying,
Mm.
and in my head you try and trip it, but
Well, I mean,
tripping involves like
it's because they don't allow
anyway.
called shots or anything. So like, what it would
Yeah,
be instead is just like I just try and hit its wing.
yeah. Well, that's what I
Yeah, and
ruled it as, I
that's what.
believe. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but
try
yeah,
and make sense of it.
yeah, but smashed it.
Yeah, I
Smashed it.
definitely. Because it's like technically you shouldn't be able to make a flying creature prone, like magically flying.
No, no, because it's not being
Yeah,
held aloft by, and that is in the ruling actually.
yeah.
If it's magically flying, you can't make it prone. It still
Oh,
hovers.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
well, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
But if
yeah. So
it's
we did
using
rule it
wing,
correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, anyway, there was a tunnel that you went through.
Mm.
Um,
No. Before
and
that, right? Some of the harpies tried to escape,
oh,
and
that's right.
V wasn't having none of that. And
No,
he wasn't interested in one-on-one combats or fighting.
yeah,
He found their nest and just lit the whole thing up with a giant
oh,
fireball.
yeah.
Killed all the harpy children.
All the babies.
Yeah, but it's like we need to treasure hunt a bit too, right? So like surely there would have been treasure in there, but the whole thing just got obliterated. So it's like, damn.
Yeah,
So I was a little bit upset about that, but I didn't want to go picking through the treasure because there was that cave there, and
yeah.
Torm had So I just fought these mushrooms the day before in game,
Mm.
or a couple of
A
days
few days
before,
before.
yeah,
Yeah,
and had a vision of Torm
yeah,
after the fight, and he was like, "Come find me in a cave," and so my character was all like, "Yes, this is the cave. This must be it," and ran in and had exactly that,
yeah,
which was awesome. I was very happy with that.
yeah. Was it a cool encounter? Because I wasn't sure whether it was like it was very hard to run because everyone followed you. So
Yeah,
it was very hard for me to focus on the experience of it.
yeah. No, like it was a trial by combat. I mean, how better
Yeah,
can you get for a war priest, right? Like
yeah,
for
yeah. That's true.
a god that's
That
like,
that was the idea.
yeah. I mean, he's demanding chivalry, but he's also demanding defeating of those that are not like wholesome or good
Mm-hmm.
characters or creatures. So
Yeah,
yeah, basically just went up and smashed a cyclops, smashed him hard.
you really smashed him. You only needed his help once, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
And
because
that's because you were already injured.
I was down to a
So you
quarter
could have,
health.
and that was like a full-powered Cyclops. So you could have easily taken that thing out.
Yeah. But yeah, in saying that, like I did roll pretty well, and
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, it could have
still,
gone both ways. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's
destroyed
like
it. So
one-on-one. You would have more likely won anyway.
yeah, probably
If
it.
you're on full health, you would have
Oh
just
yeah,
destroyed that thing.
oh yeah,
Like
most likely.
yeah.
Well,
Are you getting close to like 100 hit points?
yeah, it's 84.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and now with as with clerical abilities, his AC's finally gone up to 20. So
Back on.
he's on
Oh, because
18
of
because of
the
the shield.
magic.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
so it's a concentration spell, but like
yeah, yeah,
with 20 AC, it's pretty hard to knock that, and then he's got a high
yeah,
con to save against
yeah.
any.
It's good.
So hopefully he'll be a lot tougher unit up the front now.
Yeah, a bit harder to hit.
Yeah, but also able to like heal and heal others
Yeah,
in the
well
group.
that's important as well, and buffs.
Yeah.
Like bless is an unsung um spell.
It gives a D4 on attack and checks, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So like,
that one is
if
pretty good.
yeah, it's the only problem is like for you with concentration, it's like things are hitting you all the time.
Yeah. And
Which is what I forgot to do was make you roll con checks for
oh,
those when it can hit you.
oh yes. Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct. Yeah. Um yeah, all right, we'll have to make sure we keep that in for next
Yeah.
rounds. But for that character, I don't think he needs the extra D4 for the attack bonus.
Hmm.
Because he's already got a pretty high attack bonus already. It's more the extra
No, but you can
AC.
give it to other people. That's what I mean.
Yeah, oh
It's like,
yeah, if they're doing
yeah,
stuff for sure. If I'm not
yeah,
already using the spell to concentrate on myself to get higher
yeah.
AC, until I can work out what the hell to do with this armor. I don't know. I haven't met
You're
anyone.
gonna have to think about it. I don't want to give you any hints.
No, but I also have to play it in his character. He's not a smart,
Yeah,
not
that's
a
true.
smart character. So he's just like
Yeah,
I pressed all the buttons and nothing worked.
yeah, that's
Um,
true. But it has helped you. You got
yeah,
across that chasm pretty easy.
yeah, it's got a lot of skill to it. But I think he's just gonna go try and find someone smart and
Mm,
help me out of this
probably a
thing.
good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the so what'd you do? You did that, and then you guys flew. You went under the waterfall, flew up. You found
oh
us.
God, yep, gone.
You found a small hut that you flew past.
Yep,
Went into the clouds,
yep,
and finally found the entrance to the unicorns area,
yep,
the glade. Um, but it was sealed. So everyone bashed against it, thought about it, couldn't work out how to get in. It
yep,
was like, maybe we'll try the hut.
yep,
So you flew back down using the last of your fly spell, um,
yep,
and went in, and of course there was a hag.
yep,
Who was gonna read your fortunes,
yeah,
and started to.
yeah.
Um, V didn't like its face. Um,
It's quite a surly half elf sorcerer, that one.
yeah, it's very funny though, because I think like the hag was pretty creepy, um,
Sure, but
and
I
was
mean, look,
asking to live off your suffering, but
yeah, but
it
my campaign had one as well, and she was running a potions shop, and she
yeah,
was all like, "I'll trade you one of my potions for one of yours," and they're like, "What do you mean one of ours? A bit of blood?" And she hands them empty
yeah,
vials, and they're like, well, "What do we get? You get these fire explosion potions." They're like,
yeah,
"Sweet!" It's just filling up as many vials as they can. She's like, "Yes, yes, very good."
yeah. So
You know,
so anyway, he tried to control monster, didn't work, and then he fired a firebolt at it,
ah,
and
yep.
then we rolled
Now we're in
initiative.
combat. Yep.
Yeah, and then
So,
I stopped it abruptly because
yep.
A, it was getting late, and B, I didn't think of this as a possibility. So I,
What, us being murder hobos?
I didn't. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. Like
uh,
it, you guys should be free to make any actions. Like I did that with what's his name as well, with Me Too.
yep.
Like he did some pretty crazy stuff, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's
Yeah, he
what
just rolled
happens.
with it. Yep.
Like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop you from doing it, and I'm not gonna, but there will
Yeah.
be actions and
But
consequences.
V was such a polite character in the early parts of the game. He was like, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Please, can we
Yeah,
help out with it?" And now he's just like, "You know what? Fireball." It's like it was just it wasn't initiating combat. It wasn't doing anything
yeah,
bad. It's just yeah.
being creepy.
Yeah, just looked funny.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
we will
So
see what happens.
yeah, we'll see what happens on Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, we'll be without Guinness
All
in the
right.
combat,
I just
but
need to go make some signatures on a petition, so I can get down with
create
Golden
your own
Gay
one.
Time. Yeah, yeah. Down with people who are down with Golden Gay Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
I'm
to have.
sure someone will create a for one, which will
Yeah,
be
I
funny.
want to.
But
I want a deportation or a like. I don't know. Can you excommunicate people from being Australian if they if they're on that
it's
side?
pretty. It should be on the test.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's a pretty weird, like your life has to be pretty good where that is what makes you upset.
Yeah. Yeah, if your
Like,
tolerance level is an ice cream that says gay time on it, and
yeah,
that's like, I don't feel safe to be in society anymore with that
yeah,
ice cream out there. It's like, well, you haven't suffered.
you've had a good life.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. All right,
yeah.
I gotta go have a
Anyway,
rage conversation
yeah.
about it to Ramira.
Cool, dude.
All right, I'll catch you next week.
Two
No,
weeks
two
or one?
weeks. Yeah, it's still 2 weeks. We've got a
No,
fair bit
that's
of
cool.
stuff to get through. So,
No, that's cool. We'll be